Alright, Mirai Nikki EP23 review. I knew I was right, so I probably looked like a baka last episode by taking the bait and running with it. But, they threw me off on purpose. I was totally wrong. Maybe a bunch of other people were wrong too. It was just the way they presented it, which was brilliant to throw us off track, and then to go ahead with the big reveal. Unlike what I thought, and thought I had 100% down pat, Yuno is not Muru. It turns out Yuno is indeed the real Yuno. I couldn't fathom how this was going to be the case, but it is. It certainly is. So, of course, massive spoilers, but however, this is the second dose of the survival game. It already ran its course, and this is the second run of it. Yuno won the first survival game. So smart, faked her dual death with Yuuki before the world ended. She became, the god creature, having won the survival game, and her sole wish was, essentially, was to be back, spending more time with Yuuki, or whatever way that was possible, and that's kind of how it threw us back. So she went back in time, essentially starting a second timeline, I think, where things go different, very different. So she, in the second world line, which she went back to, it makes me so want to see the first few episodes again. But she went, so she went back to the start of the survival game, around there, or whatever the case. So she wants her sole purpose, the number one thing to her. I had it weird in my notes, which is why I'm hesitating. Sometimes I write it down oddly worded and then have to rewrite it or re-record it, but whatever. We'll go with it. But fix it. Yuno's kind of top thing is obviously Yuuki. Time with him. Her sole purpose is just being with Yuuki, spending more time with him. So this all makes total sense. Very good writing. So what happened? It just all adds up. She took herself out. She killed off herself, her past self. Having come back, she killed her past self, which was then at the start of the survival game, around there or whatever, at the present, so as to not allow the original Yuno to take that time away from her and Yuuki. So she's selfish against herself. Very interesting. And my mind was just absolutely boggled. But it just makes so much sense now. But, I assume we're now in a loop. I think the key to the finale is how we'll get out of that loop. Because with the world ending and Yuno having won, it getting sent back, and then we're arriving at the same conclusion. So somehow there has to be some sort of resolution, us getting out of this endless, infinite, perpetual loop. She'll keep going back. kill her prior self, and then spend more time with Yuuki again, and she'll just get what she wants. So somehow there has to be a way out, and I can't ponder that right now. But another thing in this episode, they went too far in terms of the fan service. I think I mentioned that a little later, but to use a little bit of a Team Fortress 2 terminology of the Scout in replacement of something else. I could word it elsewise, but I'll choose this way. Yuuki bonked the bonkers girl. They become one. We learned what that meant. And then she tried to kill him over the danger of him finding out the real information of all her secrets and all that. Yet Muru, or Murmur, or whatever the case, helped Yuuki discover the truth. She's the one designed with the purpose to make the whole thing interesting, and she certainly did with explaining this all, holy heck, to him. And then we have the kind of like temporary standoff between Yuno and Yuuki this second time. This was just top-notch writing to enjoy a late hidden golden plot nugget. This massive reveal also explains the past episodes. It ties in wonderfully. Explains why she was horrified of the real Yuno. Why she was horrified of the real Yuno being killed off, that information being presented to Yuuki. And then secondly, it ties in with the retina vault scanner working. Somehow she got in, and there's just, with those two different things, you just couldn't fathom it. She was one thing and also not, and yet she didn't want him to find out both ways, that she was supposedly fake and yet real. So she was hiding something, and I just didn't get it. Darn it. But good work. So well done confusing me. And this was quite a grand mystery. And the way they just presented it so that I'd be thrown off course was awesome, and probably others as well. And then that allowed them, that's like them saying, look over here, look over here, look over here, designing it, presenting it so that you look right here, and then the real case is right here for them to reveal. But that's what they did. They threw us off course, and then that allowed them to then do the true big reveal. I took the bait and was very wrong. I thought I was right, though. This is awesome. Wow, just wow. Next episode, we resume. We were left off, so we resume Yuuki versus Yuno. And that's the third to last episode. There's 3 left, I think. And I knew she would be trying to kill him off. But he didn't until all this reveal. But he was kind of contemplating it beforehand, but he still wasn't sold. And, one of the two winning, him killing her off or her killing him off. She's currently the one armed. He's not armed. She has an axe, of course. Of course she has an axe that she was hiding under the bed sheets. Ay, ay, ay. Yuuki did not play as smart. But I knew she would try and kill him off, and one way or the other, whoever wins, it has to be done before the world ends. On whatever they said, whatever it was, July 23rd, 26th, 27th, 23rd, I don't know, whatever. So the big question, with also what was revealed, he saw the original Yuno essentially crying out to him, begging, in a sense, to be saved. To be saved from her fate, I guess. Or from the secondary Yuno. And maybe the loop and everything. So, I think this marks the beginning of what I would call Operation Save Yuno, or Saving Yuno. And the big question is, how's he going to do it? Right now, I have no speculation that I can think of how he can save her. Unless he wins, and that's his sole wish, and which I just thought of. That's the obvious, but this outsmarted me. This series outsmarted me. It presented it so that something was obvious, so I took the bait and was wrong. So, it makes you wonder what they're storing up for final 3 episodes here. How is he gonna save her? So now he does have something to fight for. Again. He can't save everybody else, but maybe he can save her. If his one wish is to save her, or for him, if he wins it, I'm just saying on my notes, I'm just going on the fly here, off the cuff. If he wins it this time and kills her off, which he could do, because he knows the truth, all the info, and yet we didn't know exactly what degree of information the Akise gave on the cell phone, so I was kind of wrong on that too. But if he mimicked I think this would be really cool. If he mimicked Yuno, if he won and went back, so that there would be essentially, well, I don't know, because the world line thing, I don't know, and time travel stuff, but I think it would be neat if he won the second time and went back to save the first Yuno from the second Yuno. I think that could be really interesting. But that's just off the cuff speculation, not on my notes. I was just pondering it. So, how is he going to save her? That's where we're at. Because that was kind of laid out as the mission from here on out, the next 3 episodes. How is Yuki going to save Yuno? From herself. I mean, geez. You know, and if I've learned anything, it's that Yuno is smart, Yuno is a psychopath, and Yuno holds Yuki as her number 1 thing in the world. 3 episodes left. Yuki versus Yuno. He must save her and get them both out of the loop they're in. That's on one hand. On the other hand, completely opposed. The two final people in the tournament completely opposed to one another. As I said, he must save her and get them both out of the loop. But I think if he was redemptive of his character, he would wish for her something about her, something relevant to her. So he'd sacrifice himself to give her a happy end somehow. But that's one side. He has to get them out of the loop. He has to save her and himself out of the loop. On the other hand, she must kill him to stay within the loop and keep going back and forever be spending time with him, which she values most. So, to end it off, the writing was good to trick me. Very good job. This series, outside of the fan service going too far, has been great. This series has been great. I've really enjoyed this series, and I've really enjoyed reacting to it. I mean, I want to see my own reaction to it, and I certainly want to see other people's reactions to it. That is just, I really want to see that, but I don't want don't want to run into spoilers or any more spoilers. Just did the one minor time, but I don't want this series to end. But onwards. We must continue onwards and have this ready for, hopefully, in November. And I suspect this will give us quite a boost towards our next goal, which will be 100. So, because we're at 50. We're past 50. 52 at the time of recording. But if anything, this series is going to be the secret key to 100. I suspect. That's my suspicion. Because I think it's going to be quite a good reaction as well. So, anyhow, I don't want this series to end. This has been a wonderful series. Despite its flaws, it's been really, really good. So, I will see you up ahead for episode 24. I don't know. I doubt I'm going to keep doing reviews, but it's just if I'm that interested or not. So, I will see you up ahead. Take her cool.